So I've seen that the most successful entrepreneurs who are on another level actually have this unique trait that sets them aside from everybody else. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, and how this unique trait can actually catapult your personal brand, your business, and just your life in general. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Gulfraz. I'm building my own personal branding agency, and I want to be able to serve, inspire, and unbind you so that you can then become magnetic and really tap into this abundance. Now, I want to talk about how this unique trait can actually separate you from everyone else and being what I call a magnetic market leader. And I also want to give you some actionable advice and things that you can actually start to do now so that you can really improve your content strategy overall. So the main thing that we need to understand is this give to ask ratio. Gives are like helps, like valuable, truly transformational things that you can provide in your content, in your lead magnets, in just your overall social media presence. Basically, what you're doing is you're enriching your market. So you're contributing to the addition or the growth of your market, you're contributing to the retention of the people already in that market, and just basically enriching that industry or that market that you are in. So whenever you actually give, you are depositing this goodwill. This is in human nature. When you give somebody something, the other person would want to reciprocate that. They would want to comply with what request you've got more easily if you've already given to them before. Now, this is where people, I think, mess up a lot, and I'm trying not to do that, and I would not want you to do the same thing, is when you start asking. What is asking? It's basically what it sounds like. It's like when you're asking somebody to click on your link, or, check out my ebook, or check out my actual book, or basically just buy my product or service that I'm selling. And it's like running an ad. These things are considered an ask. Now, I want to actually talk about this concept of giving from a bit of a deeper perspective. I mean, it's not that deep, but I just want to explain this to you so that you can really shift the way that you are thinking about showing up online or selling something to somebody. And it's not in a way that you've probably thought about either. I'm only saying that because I genuinely see so many people out there who are just asking way more than they're giving, and it shows. And it actually repels the people that you're trying to target rather than actually attracting them. So I want to cut through all the noise that you hear out there, all of these tips and tricks and gimmicks and things to, get more clients and, sell more. And I just approach this from a perspective of, first principles, just taking everything, down to the bare bones. Now, I see a lot of people giving, and I see them giving with this sort of expectation of getting something in return. And people then risk their gives not being all that special either, because they're focusing on the end result. They're focusing on not the end result, because that's good to know, but the end result with this sort of touch of selfishness in there as well is the best way I can explain it. So I don't want to be like that, and I don't want you to be like that either, because in my mind, that's like a low level of thinking. And when you do think from a lower level, you're going to then experience low results, and it's going to reflect in everything that you do. So what I think in terms of, achieving that higher level of entrepreneurship, I always start with saying that you need to have a goal that is so big in a way, or like, shooting for the stars. Then the steps that you're going to need to take will have to then be bigger steps as well. So instead of thinking in a low level way and, making content with these expectations, if you truly think big, you're then going to be able to understand the level of the gravity of the gives that you need in order to be able to get that reciprocated. So I actually think of it like this. So on the lower levels, near the bottom, you've got these people who have got this bad rep. They've been given this name, being a guru. So these are the people whose videos you see, and you can just tell that they're there to sell you something. You can just feel it. No, I'm not knocking these people. I just think that they're limiting themselves, and I know that they can do better. These are the guys that show up in your Instagram ads, promising you things like passive income, promising you, this quick fix course, check out my cheat sheet, things like that. But these are the people that are actually taking more than they're giving, which is why they're resorting to those sorts of levels of tactics to try to get people interested in what they're selling. So they don't actually unlock this different level of profit that they can easily achieve if they change the perspective and think about playing the long game rather than the short-term game. And I think that the people that these gurus do end up attracting, because the guru themselves are coming from this place of this low-level thinking, living in their amygdalas and tapping into these sorts of low-level tactics and tricks to get people interested, the people that they end up attracting are also, low level people, because they're thinking from their amygdalas. They don't have that level of understanding. They just want a quick fix. They've got shiny object syndrome. Just like the gurus have the shiny object syndrome, it reflects in their content, their marketing strategy, probably in their lives in general. Like they only give something because they want something in return. Now, I know that's easy to say because we've all got bills to pay, we've all got expenses, we all have these aspirations, but the honest truth is you actually have to be scared with how much value you're giving to your audience, because when you're actually scared of how much you're giving, that discomfort is actually pushing you into another level. So if you're just starting out like me, for example, the level of gives have to have this gravity to them. They have to have weight. You've just come into the marketplace. Even if you have a course, you've got something to sell, if you give all of that away for free, let's just say you put everything out there for free, there will still be people out there who, after they've consumed that content or have seen what you put out there, would still want to work with you. It's just this fear of lack and this place of lack that people come from that keeps them in this low level thinking and doing these tactics that I think is a short-term gain for long-term pain. So you have to have these heavy, consistent gives for them to even be considered a give. Before you can even throw out an ask, you have to consistently have given enough value to your audience. So this is what as I was saying, this is the first level, the lower level part of the space that I see. Now, going a little bit higher than that are business owners. They do focus on delivering value. They've got really good products, really good services, or a really good service, but the level of give that they've got is only to sustain their business goals. They don't have something that's shooting for the stars. Again, there's nothing wrong with this. It just means that you're going to be at a specific level. You're going to hit a ceiling. And then near the top, I see people who I like to call magnetic market leaders. Now, these are the people with a huge vision. They don't just operate in this realm, this transactional realm. They inspire movements, they attract opportunities, and they actually build a lasting impact by consistently giving to their marketplace. And I've seen that these people's gives drastically outweigh their asks. And when they do give, the gives are huge. Like giving really valuable life-changing advice to people. And the life-changing advice that they do give to people, that advice is usually packaged in a 5K or 10K course by these gurus, and they gatekeep that. So then they're limiting themselves. And these magnetic market leaders, they're here to inspire, uplift, and they're here to, transform people's lives in the biggest ways that they can, using as much of their energy, as much of their resources, as much of their influence as they can, and they're actually putting other people first before themselves. So now you can start to understand, like, going through these levels of people, why, if you have got a specific vision or a specific goal, that's going to actually limit you, and you're going to be stuck using certain tactics and gimmicks and tips and tricks to make money, when if you play a longer game, a bigger game, you can end up giving more and then having that compound over time, and then just coming back at you in the biggest way that you can think of, or even surpassing what you can think of. That's the way I see it. Because when you have an expectation, then you're pushing for that, and people can feel that you're pushing, and you're pushing to get something. And the people who are already on a bigger level tend to sort of, see you in a different way, because they can sort of see that you're in this low level thinking, and that, you're not in their league yet, rightfully so. And again, I'm not knocking those low level people, because unfortunately there are, behaviors that people have. To attract certain people, you have to give off a certain vibe. And again, your energy is mirrored back to you. So whatever you're putting out there, that's what you're going to get back. So I would rather, if I was, helping somebody, I would rather say to them, rethink your long-term goals. Sit down and literally think about what your 10-year goal is. Like me, for example, my 10-year goal is to have served 50,000 entrepreneurs, business people. I want to serve them so that they can actually use what they know and take their audience and take their industry and leave a lasting impact, and really transform people's lives, and just add to the betterment of society as a whole, and just being a free thinker as opposed to being trapped in these boxes is the best way I can say it. So I mean, with me, for example, I was doing social media management for a couple of years, and I took one of the biggest risks in my life, where I quit my 9-to-5, and I knew the gravity of that when I did it, because I'd been working in a law firm for about just over 11 years. I had a set amount of income that I was getting every month, and it's like what they say, golden handcuffs. And I knew that in order to break free from that, I would have to make a really big foundational shift in order to then force me in a way to start thinking bigger. And I sort of went back to the drawing board after I was doing social media management and, you know, working at this law firm and doing other roles at the same time. I stripped everything away and I went back to the drawing board to just get clearer on my vision and my values and my goal and my purpose. And I realized that if I really wanted to help the people that I wanted to help, which were already successful people in a different part of their life, I knew that I would have to create something truly, truly valuable. And that is a bit of, you know, the mission that I've been on over the past few months, is just creating something that I know will be a paradigm shifting, transformational service to others. Now, I'm definitely thinking about putting all of what I know out there for free for people to see, to absorb, and just to enrich my audience. Because if I do that, I know that I will automatically, you know, have that reciprocated by people, by the world. It's just a matter of time. But the thing is, I have to stay true to my values, and I can't have the shiny object syndrome. I want to achieve my own vision and mission and my own purpose before I then, you know, start dabbling in other things. So this you have to really commit to. It's a long-term thing. But and another thing, I always say that if you've got the right intention in anything that you're doing, that will, again, that will have a good result. Whenever something goes bad for somebody, in a way, I also think something bad that happens to someone, there's always something good in that as well. Whether it's a lesson that you've learned, whether it's, you know, a realization that you've had, something like that. But whenever something bad, like really bad, happens to somebody when they're trying to do something, I always question what their intention was to start off with. So please, if you do decide to rethink your company values, your personal values, your mission, your niche, going into your your marketing systems, how you're building your product or service, if you really start to aim for the stars, and even if you land on the moon and you don't make it to the stars, as long as you're aiming big, I know that you will then have this trait that I'll be talking about, where you will unlock this new level of profit, this new level of abundance, and you will really unlock that true freedom that you're looking for. Because another thing I say is, in order to build your own dream, you have to build other people's dreams first. You've not given enough. And this is again something I realized while I was working in my 2 or 3 different roles. I realized that I was not giving enough, and that was reflecting in the results I was getting from my business. It was reflecting in the people that I was attracting. It's all a mirror. So take a risk, feel uncomfortable. I promise you, if you're comfortable, you're not going to make a transformational step. You're not going to have a change in your life that you want to see. If you're looking for comfort, you're not gonna see growth. You're genuinely, honestly, only going to see growth when you literally throw yourself under the bus in a way, and challenge yourself in a way that you've never been challenged before, and just throw yourself in the deep end, and then just find a way to swim to the top. That's the only way you're really going to be able to build something that you're going to be proud of. So if you're still comfortable and you think, why am I not getting the results that I want, you need to really clarify, how much are you dedicating to serving others, not being in service to others, but being in service of others. You will then automatically start developing your own skills, you will get new experiences, and then this way of giving will actually open up new doors and ways for you to leverage other people and other opportunities to then start building your own dream. But I would always say, never give up in the service of humanity, in the service of others, in the service of people who have got a specific problem. They say serve the rich, serve the wealthy. The wealthy are already at another level. If you've earned it, it's a totally different ballgame to people who are born into it. But if you're aiming to help people who are at a different level of wealth, then you know that you will need to be able to match their energy in a way. And in order to match their energy, you need to get out of this low level thing. You get the point. Selflessness as opposed to selfishness, expecting something for yourself instead of giving without expectations, and just building this level of goodwill within your audience. So I hope that was a valuable video to you. Now, I would have loved to have had this video about a year ago. Like I used to make videos online. Well, I tried to make a few videos, and it's actually it's actually quite kind of embarrassing in a way to see the way that I was making those early videos, because I feel like I just didn't know what I was talking about. I really hope that this message gets to somebody who really needs it. Maybe you're stuck and you're in this low level thinking. I just really hope that this has been a little bit of an eye opener for you, so that you can start to realize that, look, maybe I'm just looking at this from the wrong way. Instead of being seen as this guru, which is a big gripe of mine. If I'm working with somebody, that's one of the main things I want to get out of their heads, is like, just forget these expectations, forget these tactics and tricks in getting people down the funnel. The best way to get people down the funnel is by genuinely looking for a transformative way of helping them. And if you've been able to go through something that's transformed you, and that's something you can talk about in a way that's helped you, do that. And if you're in a position right now that you think that you're not seeing the results that you want for a long time, or you're looking to start an online business, or you're looking to help a specific industry, I would definitely say sit down and help yourself first before you can help others. And then you can take the help that you've experienced for yourself, and again, look at who you're taking the help from. Look at who it is that's transforming your life, and just try to just do more than that, and transform people's lives in a way that was more transformative than the person who helped you. And if you consistently do that, which is an aim of mine, I really want to try to do as much as I can, then you will definitely see, what you will, then that will be reflected in your life as well. Automatically, it's like a guarantee. But it's just, in terms of time, it's hard to tell when that will happen. But give yourself a goal. Give yourself a 3-year goal, a 5-year goal. In fact, start with a 10-year goal. Start with a big vision, and stick to it, and just carry on. That's what I would say, and that's what I'm doing. And yeah. So anyway, yeah, I hope this video was valuable to you. Thank you so much if you've watched this to the end. I really appreciate that. There are probably other things I could say about this, but I'm not gonna make this any longer than it already has been. Maybe I'll save that for another video. But thank you so much for watching this, and take care. Bye.